Did you know that Bulova was the first company in 1941 to run a TV commercial? Well, that's news, and I am really excited to know that it was a watch brand out of all the companies in the world. Let's try to get to understand the heritage and history associated with this American watchmaker, which has a history of over 100 years. Yes, so Bulova opened its doors in 1875 and it was founded by Joseph Bulova in the city of New York. Like every other legacy watchmaker, Bulova has a list of many firsts, which I think every brand boasts of. How true they are, no one knows. Anyways, Bulova was very actively involved in a lot of lunar missions. In fact, I have a story for you. It was during the mission of Apollo 15 when the astronaut who was supposed to wear his Omega kind of broke it, and then eventually he got his personal watch from his own personal collection, which was a Bulova Chronograph. Do you know which particular watch I am talking about? Yes, you're right. That's Lunar Pilot Chronograph. Bulova is also credited in making the world's first electronic watch, where they actually used a tuning fork instead of the traditional rotor which was being used in watches that days to regulate the timekeeping. Well, that's Accutron. So now you know where the logo of Bulova comes from. By the way, Bulova is a citizen company since 2008. Did you guys know that? So now you know where the movements are coming from. Well, with all the options and choices that I have, it was really tough to pick up a Bulova with the models like Jetstar, the Lunar Pilot Chronograph, the Frank Sinatra Collection, and not to forget the Sutton, the Curve, the Marine Star, the Oceanographer, and then comes one of my favorites in the form of Chronograph A, also known as the Surfboard. A really tough choice to make for me, so I eventually got my hands on this super cool Aerojet. Please subscribe, press the bell icon so that I can get more watches to review for you guys. So now we are going to run on Bulova time. Let's quickly open this box and try to understand what the fuss is all about. So what I got here is an automatic watch in a 41mm case size, which is quite convenient, a 47.8 mm lug-to-lug width, and a thickness of just 11.7 mm. Prima facie, this looks like a grey colored dial with an open heart skeleton look at the 6 PM marker. And can you see the movement dangling? It looks amazing, by the way. The hands, the indices and the logo are all in a rose gold tone. Also the crown as well, which can be spotted on the 2 o'clock position. I'd like to call it the reverse Seiko. So can you guess the case material? Well, this is stainless steel through and through. The crystal here is a double curved mineral box crystal, which is quite good and a decent scratch resistance as well. A mere water resistance of 30 meters on this one. Had it been more, you would have gotten yourself a screw down crown, which is not present of course. Turn it around to find an exhibition case back for everyone to see. Pretty regular markings on the case back otherwise as well. If you look closely, the movement is quite beautiful in the sense that it is a Miyota 82S0 movement with hand winding and hacking seconds function. This one's also got a power reserve of 42 hours, but I generally put my watch on the winder when I go to sleep in the night to avoid the struggle of setting the watch on a daily basis. A 21 joule setup here gives an accuracy of -20 to +40 seconds a day, which is okay. Citizen movements are workhorses obviously and quite reliable, so no questions asked with this one. A pretty rounded dial which comes with a croc patterned leather of decent quality is what the company says. The good part being the leather is not in shiny finish. So there are two brands out there whose cases look exactly similar to this particular Aerojet. Do you know which two watches I'm talking about? Well, the first one is the Seiko Presage Cocktail Time and the second one is the Orient Bambino. Both of them are really good watches, and out of these three, you can just blindly pick anyone. Overall, the watch is very comfortable, very lightweight, hardly feels on my wrist, and it's quite a good watch for people who have a wrist size of 6 to 7 inches. Well, this particular watch can be found in the price range of $250 to $300. The problem is this watch is not available in India. I mean, Citizen guys, what are you doing? You are not getting any latest watches from Citizen in India. Brand like Bulova is not there. What should we do? If you are in the US mainland, you could get this watch after certain discounts easily for 20,000 rupees or even lesser. I mean, at that kind of price, this is a steal of a watch to buy, especially with the kinds of competitors that are available in this price segment, out of which most of them are micro brands. So don't get disheartened. There are plenty of fish in the sea. So let's go fishing. I'm obviously going to talk about some alternatives for this particular brand. But if you are out there to buy a Bulova, go for a Bulova, because options like Seiko, Tissot, Orient are always available and people have been buying it since ages. So the first one that comes to my mind is the Seiko 5 Sports Collection with the SRPD series, where you have more than 10 different variants and color options to choose from. The second option comes in the form of Orient Bambino, which has a similar case design and open heart skeleton watch, if that's what you like. This is a similarly priced watch, pretty much like the Citizens and the Bulovas and the Seikos of the world, and you cannot go wrong with this one. The third watch that I would recommend you is one from the stable of Bulova, which is the Lunar Pilot Chronograph. Now, this particular watch obviously has a lot of heritage and history associated with it, especially with the different missions it was a part of. Obviously, the steel version here is highly priced, so you can go for the regular black strap. The fourth watch that I have in my mind that I would like to recommend you is Bulova's evil twin called the Zeppelin LZ127 Graph. Now, this particular watch also has an open heart at 7 o'clock position with a sub-seconds dial at 5 o'clock position, and it also uses a Miyota 82S5 movement, which is very much similar to the movement used here in Bulova. When we are talking about Bulova, how can we forget Citizen watches? I have this particular automatic watch in a yellow striking dial, which is hard to miss. On the other side, you have this particular watch from Citizen, and if you look closely, it resembles the Aerojet. There are umpteen number of watches that you can buy, especially the micro brands that I have not discussed anywhere in this video. But are you looking to buy a legacy brand, or is it the micro brands you choose? Between the legacy brands also, there is so much of competition, but if you actually see with a microscope, there are just 10 watches that you can buy in this price segment. If you don't believe me, go and check out their websites. As it is, Chinese are killing it with the kind of micro brands they've been coming out, like the Addis type, the Boderi, the this, that, blah, blah, blah. So which watch are you going to buy? Which movement are you going to choose? Which dial are you going to have? Which crystal do you want to have on your watch? Which kind of strap do you want to wear? So choice is subjective. It changes with the kind of watch that comes into your peripheral vision. With almost 150 years of experience in this industry, with so many firsts, with so many achievements in the timekeeping history, Bulova and Citizen have been killing it together. Citizen is one of the largest producers of movements in watches, and it's not just Citizen which uses those movements. There are umpteen number of brands that are using it, which means the movements are reliable. So that's the same thing, the same story for Bulova watches as well. That is something you need to keep in your mind before you buy a Seiko, a Tissot, a Bulova, a Citizen or a Hamilton. Okay, enough with the brand. Let me quickly summarize it for you. Here are my 2 cents. You have an amazing movement in the form of Miyota. You have an amazing crystal in the form of a mineral glass. You have a striking dial in rose gold tones, a crazy kick-ass croc leather, a see-through case back, and a reliable company and brand name to look out for. What else do you need? Taj Mahal? So from today, I am going to run on Bulova time. Are you? What are you wearing today?